Hello, my name is Elias Fakori, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Stand. We are a consultancy team that set out to analyze the merger between T-Mobile and Sprint. STAND is an acronym that stands for being socially together and naturally diverse. The agenda for today is an organizational overview done by Evan, our Chief Production Officer. Our HR Director, Zhu, will talk about the formality and how T-Mobile and Sprint will go about this transition. Audrey, our Chief Operations Officer, will talk about the possible risks involved in the merger. Calum, our Chief Media Officer, will talk about the structure and form in regards to branding and how the companies should go about this merger. Justin, our Chief Financial Officer, will speak to the time frame and how long it should take to become a company under one new name. And lastly, I will speak on the conclusion. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, I'm Evan. I am the Chief of Productions Officer, and I'll be talking to you guys today about the history of Sprint, T-Mobile, the merger, and what theory that we think they should apply to their company. Now, Sprint started back up in the 1890s as a railroad communications company where it was giving railroad stations telephone communications between other stations. Now, after a century of doing other telephone communication businesses, they became Sprint, what we know today as Sprint, in the 1990s. Now, as of 2019, they have amassed 40 million customers and have made a total of $39 billion. Now, T-Mobile was started back in 1994 as Voice Stream Wireless PCS. It was later bought in 2001 by Deutsche Telekom, and Deutsche Telekom then changed its name to what we know as T-Mobile today. Now, as of last year, T-Mobile has amassed 84 million customers, and they also made $45 billion. The merger was approved in February 2020, and it cost the two companies $26 billion. But at the end of the day, the company is now worth a total of $146 billion, and combined will have a total of 126 million customers. This merger will leave the Deutsche Telekom company with a higher stake of 41.7%, and the public will own 30.9%, and SoftBank, who is the owner of Sprint, will own 27.4% of the new company. Now, the company will be structured as such. The T-Mobile CEO, John Legere, will be the CEO of the new company, and the Sprint CEO, Marcel Clore, and SoftBank Chairman and CEO, Masayoshi Son, who will serve on the board. So we think that these two companies should apply the marketing theory for the following reasons. The marketing theory states that the main goal is to maximize their profits off a product based off of how they show off that product. So we believe that for them, this theory would be the best theory overall to better increase their chances with the public as a brand new company coming out of this merger.
Good day. Thank you for joining. My name is Justin Figueroa, Chief Financial Officer here at Stand Consultancy. My day-to-day job tasks consist of managing the firm's financial risk and opportunities. I oversee lower-level financial managers, and I also set and track financial goals, objectives, and budgets. To be a Chief Financial Officer, I must be reliable, inspire confidence in others, and have problem-solving abilities. I work very closely with the Chief Executive Officer, the Chief Marketing Officer, and the Chief Operating Officer to develop a strategic vision for the firm. According to the 5 lenses of collaborative power and shared leadership, the time frame lenses, collaborative power and leadership relationships are influenced by 2 notions: time investment and maturity of the relationship. Time investment, also known as lifetime, leads the relationship over a bounded time frame, and the second notion leads the maturity of the relationship. The first investment will develop the relationship and operational function, and the second investment involves dynamics from policy to deadlines that influence internal dynamics. With the merger of T-Mobile and Sprint, 5G network will cover 97% of the U.S. within 3 years of the merger and 99% within 6 years of the merger. The faster the merger occurs, the faster the U.S. will become the world's best advanced 5G network. The U.S. is currently behind China in 5G network, which could be a security threat. Goals are aligned from a political agenda per T-Mobile leadership. 5G creators of smart cities, smart agricultures need this network the merger will create. States argued the combination would reduce competition and violate antitrust laws. However, thousands of better jobs will be created just in the first couple years due to the merger. By 2022, the company will generate a positive free cash flow, and it could also pour into the GDP up to $500 billion. This is great for the U.S., and I have put my stamp of approval on this merger.
Hello everyone, my name is Sue. I am the Human Resource Manager of Stand. Let's talk about the formality. Formality is the presence of a contract or the progress of a business building relationship from prospect to customer by way of a written agreement. The word contract involves terms and conditions of sale written to formalize the business relationship. For example, how the business is to be paid or how the intellectual property is to be treated. As we know, formality is affected by these three aspects. 1. External relationship. We found there is no enough news, commercials, or scholarly articles about the merger of T-Mobile and Sprint. That's the first issue. 2. Legal, social, and economic forces. In 2014, Sprint and T-Mobile merger was rejected because that competition could be harmed if the number of national carriers shrank from 4 to 3. It might cause a monopoly and the fee might go up. 3. Self-preservation. T-Mobile has promised to offer free wireless broadband access to 10 million underserved students, free 5G service to first responders, and adopt a new $15 a month data plan capped at 2 gigabytes, but only if the Sprint deal gets final approval. The rigorous commitment shows great straight communication and protects the core values, such as money and technology. Since issues exist, now let's take a look at some recommendations. 1. Stabilize external relationship. The new company should hire more people to publish news, create commercials, and even write some professional articles on magazines. Let more and more people know the new service will provide a high-speed internet and good quality of talking through the new carrier. 2. Teamwork to dreamwork. According to the research, when a plan is designed to correct itself and keep up with the reality, it means to govern and it can be remarkably successful. Now they learned from the mistakes and improved the external relationship by setting the standards. The new company should continue correcting the mistakes and getting improved in cooperations. 3. Selfless. As mentioned before, self-preservation is not selfish. It is selfless to oneself and be responsible for others. A compromise system should be established, such as decline the fee or provide more service. However, if either part gives up some core values, it might be risky. And now let's move on to the next content.
Hey, how are you doing? My name is Kalen Williams, and I will be in charge of the Chief Media of Operations, which pertains more towards the branding. Looking into our companies and our mergers, we want to spit out key facts. We want to recognize on who brings in the more amount of revenue. Looking at who's ranked on the top of phone companies, T-Mobile is actually a higher rank, being ranked number 4 as a top merchandise, and Sprint's a little low right now, being the 24th. So we want to blow up the picture of the company that is bringing in the most amount of revenue. When you look at the other companies that's under them, T-Mobile has Metro PCS and Sprint has Virgin Mobile. So if you look at that, yes, Metro PCS is bigger than Virgin Mobile, and Sprint also has Boost. So just imagine if you bring in Metro PCS and Boost being the top underclass phone companies and bringing them up and combining them, you're just bringing in more money for our company. So when we go to rebranding and making a new logo and going through schemes and models and how we go about our companies, we want to lean more towards T-Mobile because as the reviews and as statistics say, they have been doing better at bringing in more clients and staying on top. So that the pink letters of T-Mobile, for some reason, pop out in another way. And so I feel more strongly that we will lean more towards the pink letters and the type of typefaces and the fonts they go through. And I feel like we'll have a successful company just bringing in those two top class phone services and making them come together.
Hi, this is Audrey, the COO of Stan Consulting Firm. I will talk about the risk of this merging. And we all know that all kinds of changes will bring us risk, but risk does not necessary to be bad. It can bring us opportunities too. Well, in this case, there are two major risks. One is from the external and another one is internal. The external risk will be from the recognition of the customers. It's like after the merging, they may change their name and the logos and the color, their icons and trademarks, everything. But to keep the customers' loyalty, the recommendation for this risk will be at least get some elements from both of the company to keep the customers from both company to for the new company. And another risk will be the internal risk, which is it happens to all the merging and joint venture companies, because two different companies, they have totally different culture and operation ways that after they merge it, they need to combine this together and let the employees to know how to work in the new company. So there are some recommendations on that. So the first is put the culture first. So after merging, the executives need to let the employees to know the new company's culture. And the second one will be building teams with intentions. So in this case, that they may having a team with employees from two different companies like Sprint and T-Mobile and let them to work together. And in this case, they can learn from each other to get familiar with different companies, and also it helps the executives to learn better from the employees.
Ultimately, upon analyzing the 2020 merger that was originally announced in 2018, the merger between T-Mobile and Sprint is going to be seemingly great. Upon consulting the T-Mobile and Sprint merger, this is a case of risk and benefit. By having the third and fourth place providers come together as one to provide one excellent service, the combined value of this company is going to exceed $146 billion. Let alone the future of 5G that will likely reach 97% of the United States of America. There are both external and internal risks. Possible risks include satisfying all of their customers due to the changes that are made, and from within the company, blending both cultures is important as well. By having effective communication between both customers and staff, this merger will be a success. Thank you so much.